Hey, my name's John Wright, and I'm just sitting here and I've been thinking. I've actually been working out this morning. It's nice to be able to get up, work out, and do my thing. And I'm just sitting back, drinking some of this excellent coffee that you get from Starbucks. You can buy it in the bag. And I'll tell you what, I got the dark roast, and you just take the dark roast and you fill up your cup, about that much. You just top it off with some ice cream. And you just wall out between two cups, and man, you got a great cup of coffee. You don't have to go to Starbucks. But the real deal is you go down to Starbucks and you get the deal. You get the feeling of Amsterdam. I mean, you really do. You get the seating outside. You get you just get this feeling, and it's nice and it's comfortable, and there's really nice people there. And I always like to start off my day by actually getting a cup of coffee and having a nice feeling of what the day is going to be like based upon other people's feelings, I guess. But anyway, I've been going through a lot of things, and I've been working with a lot of people throughout a period of time. And you know what? The first thing that comes to me is up there in Thurston County. When I was over there, I had my 37-foot motorhome built up. It looks like a bowling alley there. I'm shooting this golf shot down the yard, down the line. I call it the junior mint shot. Oh, baby. And Ernie Tobeck, I do love you very much. And I know that Tracy hears this, and Tracy's going to say, Ernie, Don's talking to you on the internet, of course. And let's see. Boy, big things have happened. So anyway, when I was there doing the junior mint shot and stuff, and, I take my cars, and, I have them down here, and I've got them charging right now. Now, here, I'll just unplug one. I won't even, it's not plugged in. It's ready to be plugged in. When the sunlight comes up, my solar panels come on, and I turn these on. So this here is the Lena Machina, the number 9, and like I told my sister Bonnie, like Lena, girl on Chatterbait, had a little something going on in her ass end. But I do counsel Lena a little bit, and I've seen Lena in terrible modes and stuff like this, and she got better, and now she's on her own, doing her own thing and stuff like that. It's nice to see Lena doing good. I don't bother her like that. But when I have seen her down, I go in and I make her happy. And I pull her out of it like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. So now, saying that, I was doing the junior mint shot and stuff down there. And I took out these here cars, and I was pulling this red shirt around the yard because my brother, Ernie, or Tobeck, I consider him my brother, and I don't even consider my family members family. So now let's just go on with this. And anyway, I was pulling this little red car, or this shirt around that has a rabbit on it, because I was in a cage when I was a child, and there was a white rabbit in the cage, and my sister Bonnie damn well knows that there was a white rabbit in a cage in the dining room across from the piano. And if you watch the videos and stuff, I go over that. But that shirt, I went into the motorhome, and I was watching on my security cameras and stuff, and I have it set up to where I can watch my place, because I want to watch people coming around my place and seeing how they're acting. I don't care where my cameras are pointed. I don't point them at other people's houses. I point them all on mine, because I made it into like a little TV show, and I took all the tapings and stuff from the inside and stuff, so I could cut it and make my own TV show at the end of the program, just for the fun of it, because I'm so diabolical. My dad was a mastermind criminal, and I'm a mastermind at everything else, and exceptionally good at being a comic. I think I'm so funny over things. And it's early in the morning. I haven't even shaved. I've been working out, punching on that bag. I got my weights on and all this. Now, let's get back to that red shirt. And lo and behold, illegal alien comes in the yard and gets the shirt that's laying on the ground. It must be free. She's going to take it. And it's a she. She's got that shirt on and put it on down like this. She's already got that shirt on. She don't have no clothes on underneath that red shirt now, because I watched her on the security camera, and I may have it even taped. So I'm not sure on that, but I do know I was looking through the security camera when I seen the woman put on the shirt, and I took a double take. And I looked through the front window of my motorhome, and there she is out there with that shirt on, going like this, looking down at the rabbit. And I go out there, and I go, hey, hey, and I go, that's my, I was trying to explain to her as a prop, she's not from here, she's from Middle East. And she talked a little bit, and I rolled her a joint. I talked to her, ended up talking to her. She showed me her tits. I told Ernie about this. No, I can't. I must tell the truth, because I'm a truthful person. She showed me her tits. She asked me if I would like her to come in and hang out with me for a while. And I said, no, as much as I would really like to do that, I'm going to have to decline from this. But I gave her a joint and some papers to go along the way. I gave her a book of papers. Zigzag Cut Corners. Hey, bro, this is brought to you by Cut Corners. Hey, when you need to cut corners, you go with Zigzag. Hey, often imitated, never duplicated. I'm just a walking poster child, and they made me into this, so look what we're doing now. So anyway, this girl picks up a red shirt. She identified a red shirt is something that identifies with her, because this is a Republican thing. And now, here's a jackass that I met a month or so ago, and out here on this dock right here at Steamboat Island, there was 20 men out there, and there was two out there, and one said something about my dad, and the other said something about my dad, and that one said something about my dad again. And I told, oh boy, I lit into him a little bit, like real nice, because this here guy right here, he says, hey, he says, I already seen you on YouTube. He says, I subscribed. I said, yeah, I know, you've been at my motorhome before. And then this guy here, I just looked at him and I said, now how would you like to get your ass kicked? And I fucking just told him, I said, you're just fucking just crossed the goddamn line, talk about my dad. I say, and I won't even go into detail. He zipped it fucking up, and he goddamn knew the next fucking move, he was going to get fucking checkered and chest and fucking played and beat up and down that thing. And I told any of those people, one of you touch me, you're next. And I goddamn mean it. Somebody fucking says something to me in front of 20 fucking people, they're going to fucking get it. And the ironic thing about this is that person had a little red sucker shirt on, the little red one. Okay, now, others, and the Republicans, by the way, little red sucker shirts, and by the way, after the fact that all this here happened, one of the men said to me, he says, boy, that would have been a very unfair fight between you and that guy. And I said, why? I said, he's shooting his fucking mouth off. Why should he? He says, well, that guy's had a really hard life and all this here, blah, 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 and tried to minimize it. And I said, you mean you're going to minimize something that guy said? I said, now, if you go fucking shoot off your mouth about my dad, I said, it ain't gonna make no goddamn difference. You're fucking next. And I said, how about this? How about if I go over there and say shit about your dad? How about if I say shit about your mama? I said, do you want to get fucking boiling mad and kick my fucking ass? I would imagine you would. So you're thinking that I don't have the goddamn right to jump down this bitch's ass because he's a little fucking red sucker and he's hiding behind all of you and he thinks that all of you are gonna aid him? I said, you would be next if you fucking interrupted me. And by the way, I told my brother Jerry that very fucking thing. Jerry comes over to my house and tells me him and his wife wants to come over and kick my old lady's ass or something like this. And I said, my old lady's going to kick your fucking old lady's ass. And that would be Karina, my first wife. And this was in Elko, Nevada, prior to him taking a gold sample out of my fish tank and taking it to Freeport Gold McMoran and ripping me off for a goddamn gold mine. This little red sucker son of a bitch, Jerry Wright, and they're all little red suckers that's doing this shit. And then this another person, And these other people, they were little Republicans. The woman that met me down here at the Black Pearl Harbor, under Donald Trump's leadership, fucking shit. And then the other guy saying, well, I like Donald Trump because under his leadership, he never took no money for being the president of the United States. And I said, well, that wasn't true. Ronald Reagan did that very thing. And he said, well, but except Ronald Reagan. And I said, now you're trying to minimize it just like she is. And she said, lies, lies, lies. And by the way, she said to this thing, when she came to me, panhandling, this little red rascal Republican, and they all are, she says, this is what we need. We need a motorhome for me, my 5 children, 2 dogs, and him. The last thing was him. And, you know, I've told about this in the past, but the thing is I said, well, I'll talk to your husband, you know. And she didn't like that because, like my sister Bonnie, she thinks that she should run this when her husband's right there and he's the man. Now, if I do this and I go through her, they're going to turn to a 3-ring circus, so I'm just going to go directly to him. And that's exactly the shit that my sister Bonnie would try to pull. So don't pull it with me, Bonnie, because I see through that goddamn crap, and I always have. So now this one over here, she goes and does this, and then I just say, well, I'll talk to your husband. And I go over and I talk to him, and then he goes with this, Donald Trump is the only president, whatever like this. And I said, that is true. And these people are decimated by what I'm saying. And then at the end of it, he says, do you know a place where I could stay? You know, we could stay a night. And I directed him to a place. And I said, this is probably the location where law officers would direct you to for a safe place for you to be, where you ain't going to bother anybody, no neighbors or anything. And I would suggest in the morning, you know, when it gets light and stuff and people start moving around, you start moving around too, and move right out of there so people don't think that you're just goddamn camping there. You know, because that's what people don't want. And the cops don't need a conversation with somebody that's saying there's somebody parked outside of my place. You know, and I mean, I just tell people the goddamn truth. So, and then I've had talks with a lot of different people, lots of different people, and about those bathrooms and stuff, and people are angered about that. And one guy, he's seen me picking up garbage, and he says, you're the guy that's on YouTube, you're the guy that's on Facebook, you're the guy that's on Amsterdam, you're the guy that's on Instagram or whatever, you know. And I mean, he says, you're a goddamn everywhere. And I said, really, you know. And I thought that was really cool and stuff. And then he says, you know, I like what you're doing. And then, I had a Mexican Arrow comes to Pearl Harbor the night before. I'm kind of, well, the security cameras should say it all, because the security cameras are right there at that bathroom, and right there's where I was approached by 5 Mexicans in total, you know, and it's right there at that bathroom. And another thing about that bathroom, after re-examination, you know, prior to those guys being there, I actually examined the bathroom again. I went in there, and it appears very strongly, that they had knocked out the wall where they put the urinal in when they switched the bathrooms from side to side. And I reported it to 2 law officers yesterday morning when I come in for coffee. I seen the 2 law officers, and I was wearing a shirt, and the shirt's right here actually. It's called the black tie. And you know, there's a funny thing about the black tie is, the black tie is like Pearl Harbor. It's Black Pearl Harbor down there. And I told the law officers that I was out of Black Pearl Harbor. And then I went on to tell them about the wall and the bathroom and stuff, because I want the law enforcement officers to feel free to walk in there and examine that. I said, maybe I'm wrong, but I will suggestively say that I think I'm correct by saying that wall was knocked out in a pattern, and the mortar is even thicker than it would have been in other places and stuff, and you could see that there's been alteration in that. And being that the signs are crossed like that, you can only imagine that they did this for the reason that I had said, to cause strife, disorganization, manipulation and just total chaos in the minds of people. Traditionally the men's bathroom is on the right side and the women's is on the left side, and that's just the way that it is. And matter of fact, I could get a placard and show you, that the men's is on the right hand side and the women's is on the left hand side. And what they'd like to do is they'd like to just go like this, like a lottery ticket, and flip it around and do a reverse negative on you. And that's exactly what the lottery does too. That's why you can't hit the lottery, is because they do that, and they fucking pull the lottery scam on your fucking brain, is what they did. And I don't mean to cuss when I say that, but I literally, I go into a realm where I'm thinking of what this is actually doing to a person. So now they've done this, and now I've been down at the steamboat landing area. And over there, I talked to a young man named Greg. He showed up yesterday, and he's got a backpack on. He don't look like he slept for days, wandering around almost in a fog and in a daze, I would think. He asked me, he says, do you have any liquid tobacco? And I had my vapes, and right here, well, one of these, and I have a pen that's, just a little pen. It has one in it. And I said, well, I got some THC oil. I said, come on down, I'll give you a hit. Comes down, and I give him the other pen, and I let him draw off that a couple things. And he sat there, and, when I was talking to the person, he looked like he was walking in a fog and a daze. And matter of fact, he's got this tobacco pipe, and he's clutching it in his hand, and he tells me that he's found it. And, he's not violent or anything like this. Greg has he's non-violent. He told me that he's from up north a little bit. He came down here, his family is from this area, and, he opened up and he talked to me a little bit. And, he talked to me a little bit about the water and removing the algae and stuff out of the water and stuff. And I said, well, so you're a environmentalist? And he, had a little bit of interest in environmentalists. And I said, oh, I don't know if I'd remove the algae actually out of the water, because it's actually something that's naturally there, and by cause and effect that it's actually there. I said every action has an equal opposite reaction. And, I just talked to Greg in a normal way. And I said, you're an environmentalist. And I said, do you want to go out there and throw this net out there, he's saying, and rip all this stuff out of the water? I said, well, why don't we just start with cleaning up the shore here and cleaning up what we're doing? And even the signages and stuff, when you see something wrong, you just fix it. And, this here stuff, like all this stuff that it'll dissipate and it'll go away. And in life, things like that will happen too. In your businesses and stuff, feel free to go out and clean out around your businesses and stuff, out in the road and stuff around your businesses, because, your first impression's your best impression, by the way. Now, saying that, when you have good product sales and service, that goes along with it. But it's the whole package deal that a person's getting. They're getting that experience of Amsterdam down at Starbucks. And I'll just use that as a perfect example, because it's a perfect place where I get a perfect example every day. They got somebody cleaning the parking lot. They got this, that, the other. And there's a brilliant woman in there that just tipped me off to the whole thing. She walks around with a clipboard, similar to me. You'll always see me with a clipboard around me. Here, I don't have one clipboard. I don't have two clipboards. I don't have 3 clipboards. I have 4 clipboards. I probably have 5 clipboards. But anyway, anybody that walks around with a clipboard is figuring out what's really going on and what's going on. So anyway, she impressed me, and actually we had an interaction about the bathrooms and stuff, and I got to throw down the bathroom placard that has the men's on the right, women's on the left, right on the floor, right in front of her, and I felt like the trump card. I always want to know, now what did you think of that? Because I know that she looked at that, thought, that was a very good move. And when I asked her, what made you think it was okay? She reached down, she pointed to the thing because I asked her, but I didn't ask her to please explain. And that's what I probably did wrong, but she did very good. And like I said, I don't know whether I should have patted her on the back and gave her the $10 bill, because I would have gave her both at the end of the day, because I think it led me off on the right direction. So I always like to give people the kudos where the kudos are due, because then I feel good about you got the kudos and you're the star, and wow, look what you've done to tip me off. And that coffee, oh, I'll blame it on that coffee that's pulled me through all this, I'll tell you that. Now to the next one. I've got people that are panhandlers, and I know these women in Starbucks seen me deal with this woman that was outside panhandling. Matter of fact, the woman that was out there panhandling, I said, this looks bad. You're in a parking lot. You're in someone's parking lot. I said, look at that bad. And I said, you know, and you would do this. I said, think about what you're doing. And the woman says, I work out here because they won't let me work in there. And she's pointing in the coffee shop. They won't let me work in there. Well, maybe she's not qualified to work in there because of the problems that are existing that's visible to the naked eye. How could you expect that type of behavior anyway? I mean, I have nothing against the woman, and I told her the truth. People would expect a professional attitude in such a place anyway. You get weeded out, you get sent out, then what do you got? You got bad feelings because what? They X'd you out because why? You wasn't acceptable to society to begin with. And whose fault was that? That very person's fault. You know why? After they turn 18, your parents and stuff might have dumped on you, but after you're 18, you better grow up, because you're responsible for each and every one of your actions. And sooner or later, if you start pulling that shit that you got away with when you were a child, and your parents led you actually into, by their own actions, cause the equal opposite reaction to the next person, etc. So, saying all of this, here's this woman, and she's blaming these people inside for not hiring her, when she should go look in a mirror and say there's definitely a problem with this one. And now I'm just going to move along. I seen the woman, and she seen me. I gave her $5 that day over at the other place. I didn't know exactly what she was doing or what the thing of it is. And she would even, she came to my motorhome, and then when she seen a car coming around, she walked from my motorhome, and she started to do a panhandling move. And I said, hey, don't you even panhandle from my motorhome. I don't even want to see you at my motorhome panhandling or anything. You came over here. I said, you're not going to panhandle from my motorhome and make me look like I'm a part of you. And that's another thing about these people that are tweakers around here that do have motorhomes, They try this shit where they'll park over there by me and try to fucking get a feel on me, and I just tell them, hey, what's in your motorhome's yours, what's in mine's mine, and I have nothing to do with you. Because I don't need them. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just saying the truth. Now, move along a little bit. Now, here's one of the people that have a motorhome, and I've talked to him in the past, said, you should do this. First time I seen him, he was clean looking and stuff. And, as time goes on, he don't look clean no more, and he actually asked me, the time before this last time I seen him, he says, you don't do dope, do you? And I said, no, I don't do dope. I said, but I sure do know a lot of people that have done dope. And I talked to him some, and I told him, I said, you're a little bit better than you think. I said, the first time I seen you, you're okay. And I said, next time I see you, you're not okay. I said, I know what it's like to get free dope. I said, somebody turns you on to some free dope. Hey, man, I turn you on to some dope. They fucking did it. Now, they want you to sell their dope for them, and, there's more dope where this came from. And he's looking at me, and I said, I kind of know how it works. I mean, Jesus Christ, I wasn't born yesterday. And so anyway, the same guy, I see him yesterday, and he catches me down at my Waikiki, Maikiki beach. You know, where there's a legendary 5,000 marijuana plants. Oh yeah, they're hidden down there at my marijuana farm. Believe it or not. And it's morning time. So anyway, he comes down there and he's wearing a red shirt. And he comes down there, and I got my inflatable Oceana 10 that's right up here. Oh yes, it's one of these 10-foot blow-up surfboard type things that you go out and paddle on and stand up on and everything. And he wants, he comes down there, and you could tell that he wants what I've got. He's looking what I've got in my cart here, my little giant cart that I had up there at my sister's house, my brother-in-law and sister's place there. And I had that there with my stuff in it, snacks, food, and whatever. Everything my little thing has. And my Oceana 10's there. And, he goes, so you got one of those. And, he's looking at my shit. And I go, shit, John. I said, you could have, and he's fucking like looking at my shit like he wants my shit to be his shit. I said, yeah, he's fucking getting close to me and he's fucking causing an effect. And, I'm starting to tell him, well, you better watch where you're doing and stuff, like this. And I'll tell you what, he was wearing a red shirt, and he's a little red sucker. And I said, that goddamn shirt makes you look bad. And I said, and you're wearing that little red shirt because you want attention, is what I'm saying to him. And he says, well, I got that shirt from Goodwill. And I said, well, maybe should have stayed at Goodwill, or maybe you should throw it away so it never goes back to Goodwill, because that shirt and everything that it stands for is wrong. And what it does is it stands for the Republican Party. That's a bunch of raspberries. That's a bunch of panhandlers. Is absolutely a bunch of panhandlers on that whole fucking beach. And I told them, I said, Jesus Christ, I said, you think you're a fucking Republican? You're a renegade Republican living in your motorhome. And the guy's looking at me, and I know he knows I'm right. And I said, and you collect fucking assistance and stuff from the government, welfare and whatever like that. I said, hey, and all these programs, those are all Democrat. Those are not Republican programs. They would like to get that out, and you wouldn't have no assistance at all. How would you like that? And there's just nothing he could say about it because it was the goddamn truth. I said, you want my stuff? And he wants me to go fucking take my boat out there and go around the thing and show him that I could do it. I said, what? You want me to take my boat out there and swing around so you can run off with my fucking cart? I go, goddamn, I could see right through your fucking eyes what you're doing. I said, here, don't fuck with me. I said, I showed him the goddamn scar underneath my arm that I'm talking about. And I told him to straighten up his goddamn act. I told him just to fucking straighten up his act. And you know what? He left his shit there and fucking ended up walking off and going away. After fucking sitting there, and he fucking started doing this little challenge thing. And I said, you just don't want to do it. Because you just don't want to goddamn do it. I just fucking won't fucking do it. I'll fucking knock him out. I'm just not going to fucking do it. I said, and by the time it was over, I never gave him a goddamn dime. I did give him a banana out of my thing right there. I offered him an apple, but he says he couldn't eat because he don't have no fucking teeth. And that's another thing. All these people don't have no teeth because you know why? Just give them a fucking sucker and shut these little bitches up is what they do. And that's why they don't have no fucking teeth, because their parents didn't give a fuck about them from the beginning. They're absolutely not an asset. They're just a goddamn mistake. Is what the parents did, and they inflicted it into the minds of these children is what I am seeing. If I'm wrong, like I said, you can shoot me. But I am telling you the truth about the scars under my arm, and even my sister knows about the lymphangiogram and everything like that. And I'll even go further and say, Ernie Tobeck, I found that piece of property, that gold mine spot that I'm going to clear off. I wish you could come right down here and be part of it, because I would like to give you, Ernie, 25%, or I would like to give you, $200 for your trip down here and back. Your gas is going to cost you, but I would like you to be there, and it should only take a day to 3 days. And Ernie, I'd let you sleep right here in my very bed, and I'd sleep on the Oceana 10 that I'd just blow up, because I'll tell you what, ladies, we got a bed if we want to get laid out there on the beach. Mwah. And nothing would please me more. But now it comes to the next thing. Ernie Tobeck, I told you this was biblical. And now I got this woman that's wearing this cloth, and she is, oh, you guys, worldwide, she is a Muslim, and she's from the Middle East, and she's sitting down there. I came down there yesterday after going to the coffee shop, telling these officers what's going on, getting coffee from the girls or cake or whatever I got, because I got my Starbucks at home on the road now, and I'm not picking up garbage at Pearl Harbor no more, so I don't have to go down there so early. I'm getting my mining equipment ready, Ernie Tobeck, to go out there on that piece of goddamn property I found. That's, it's everything I told you, Ernie, and I told you. It's so easy, Ernie. I'd like to have you down here for 25%, and I even have my gold buyer all lined up to buy it all from me. And, I got my smelter and everything down here, Ernie, and everything. I'm going to be getting the gold. I'm retrieving the gold. I'm going to be processing the gold, and I'm going to be refining the gold like a smelter, like that fine furnace that God Almighty is going to refine and process in. And this isn't about, I'm teaching about the Bible today, but I am teaching Ernie and everybody about what's going on around me. And I've got that great gold mine down here, and I'm going to be doing the gold show. I've already filmed the layout for it, the how many feet, it's all going to be a surprise. I'm going to document it, and then it's going to come on, and it's going to come on real soon. I'd like to say it's going to be next, but it'll probably be maybe next week or sooner. Just never know when the production film crew will be coming in, and the workers, whoever the workers may be. And Ernie Tobeck, I wish you was the one that was working with me, but I might have to use another man, and I don't know if I can count on him at this point, or I may have to do it myself. And I'd rather have somebody there with me to witness the whole thing, because you know how I like people to witness what I do. I do this little, I do it. I do everything. Why, Ernie? Because I am John T. Wright, and no one else is. And I am your brother-in-law, and I explained to you things that was happening when, before, and everything. And I even told you, we're going to war. We had Ernie's war. I did the motorhome that has the tank on it. Yeah, everybody, I have a tank on the side of the motorhome that they couldn't see, but when they come around, they see a tank. I'm going to war and everything. And by the way, Ernie, wasn't that a nice touch? I had a 7-foot bowling lane in the motorhome, and I've got it all filmed. And Ernie, what I'm trying to say is I'd like to bring you back on the next season, because I have you on the last season shows and stuff like that. Hey, it's true in life and everything. Ernie and Tobeck, anybody that's caught on my cameras, that was in my cameras at my motorhome and stuff, it's my right to film my property. So you're in my film. Whether you like it or not, that's just the way it is. My security cameras is filmed, and I also have a thing that says you're on camera right there, so you can't get out of it. So I try to do everything legally, because I don't like to hear squirm, worm, and everything else too. So now, saying that, now we've got this Sharia woman down there. I guess it's a Sharia cloth, a Sharia thing, gown, everything like this. And this woman, she was down there yesterday. And I go out there, I'm wading in the water. I'm out there wading in the water over there on my Aikiki beach. And I'm up there and I'm starting to move my hands because it's early, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. And I look over, she's sitting over there on the bench. It's her. And I'm like, oh. And I turn around and I'm like, I look and I go, you know, I kind of got her attention. She gets up, she does the Casper thing. She looks at me, she turns, she's like a machine. She's gone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm running up the way and I make it up there around, up the trail and stuff, and I make it up there. And she is like 50 feet or so, or 60 feet away from me, going like she's leaving. And I asked her, I said, can I talk to you? And she says, I cannot talk to you. And I said, I will honor you. And she turned around and walked away. And I never chased after her. I never took one foot towards her. I said, I will honor you. And I turned around and I walked to the platform where you could stand and stuff, the railing where you could look out over the water. There's a woman there. And I said, did you hear what I said to her? And she goes, yeah, I heard what you said to her. I said, I never chased her or anything, did I? She goes, no, you never chased her. And she goes, that she's just that way. She goes, she comes to this country and she just thinks that, that it's okay to dress like that and not talk to people. And she just doesn't understand the way that it is here and all this. And she's just going on and on about this woman. And you could tell that it's hatred that's right there. And I said, I think this woman, with this gown and stuff over her and everything I think it has everything to do with her religion. And, she's still, going off. And I said, I'll tell you something right now. This is about God. I said, this woman right here, this woman here, this is about God Almighty, what she's going through. And what do you think that this woman has gone through that's oppressed her in such a way that she is actually wearing a gown and stuff, and she has to live like this the way that she does? What do you think? And she just goes off and she starts on about this. And I said, well, coming from you as such a woman that does not wear any garments and stuff like that, she probably would respectfully and honor, this type of thought pattern and behavior, And I said, then all of a sudden, this woman could see what she said. I just flipped it right back on her. I said, Jesus Christ, there you are. And I said, and by the way, I said, I've talked to this woman. I talked to this woman right over there. And I said, and I talked to her and I started talking to her about, she said something about God. And I said, God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Rebecca, Esau, Jacob, and on and on, and all of a sudden she started filling in all the gaps and stuff back then. But you know what, this woman, then I showed her my scar and stuff that I have under my left arm right here, next to my heart. And I did that with Elwin Armstrong. I had seeds and stuff inside of it in glass. And where a seed is planted, it will grow. I think there's something like that in the Bible. So I'm not quoting anything. I'm just saying that where there's a seed planted, it will grow. And, I had to ditch my bike instead of crashing into the back of my friend's motorcycle. My tire actually slid underneath his motorcycle during the event that caused this here crash when I was 16 years old. When I had my first street motorcycle, my KH500, and it was the fastest production bike that was built at the time. I mean, I always was on the fastest things. So anyway, so Now, this woman, she runs like a deer. She moves fast. She must be about 30 years old. I think that this woman is half my age. I think she's 31 years old, or there's going to be a 3-year variable in there. She could be up to 34 years old, or she could be down to 27 years old. And that's my window of, that's exactly what I was looking at for some reason. And this woman seems to flip that bill. She seems to be very knowledgeable about religion and everything. And she says, I can't talk to you. And that sounds just like a wife. Now, I've heard this before. I can't talk to you. All I have to say is, now what have you done wrong that you can't talk to me? Because I'm willing to pull out the black tie. Oh, I got better than that. She wears all black. I will have to wear all white. She's playing hard to get. Oh, she's playing with John T. Wright. And I would say to Ernie, now Ernie, this is pretty early in the morning for me. I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's now 5:35. At 4:20, you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did, and I'll show you what I did too. I blew smoke. And I'm telling the world that God in heaven has used me in such a ways, and he's been doing it since I was a child. And James Martin Wright knows it because I've talked to him. Matter of fact, Jim talked to me on the phone one night, all night, questioning me about God. And then finally at the point I said, I am. And he goes, whatever, I mean, when I got the phone off him, he was so toxic. I went in the bathroom and puked. And my son, Matthew Thomas, right? That I love the guy. I don't know if he's really my son, but there again, I raised him as my son. He's a person, and he's been ran off by the law enforcement community. And I haven't seen him in many years. And thank you, law enforcement officers and shit that's up north that is dirty scum like Bruce Kimsey. And Bruce, you goddamn know it too. By the way, Bruce, I fucking hate your goddamn guts. And I mean it forever, fucking Bruce Kimsey. For me not seeing my boy, I personally hold you goddamn responsible in my fucking heart, Bruce Kimsey, and I goddamn will hate your goddamn guts forever. And if something slamming, bamming happens to you and you get goddamn what you deserve, I'll dance on your grave. I'll dance on your fucking grave. But I'll tell you what, God has led me through everything I've ever lost. To anyone. He led me right down here to meet this person. And I'm just going to play hard to get. I'm going to go sit on the opposite end of the dock. And I'm going to act like she's goddamn not even there. Why? Because I was led there and so was she. I'll just see what happens. I'll play the hard to get part. The girl I seen yesterday that I did trigger point on that had stomach problems and stuff. She was a really nice woman. Alicia. Anyway, she's Indian Power. She's a really nice girl. And a couple that I met down there, I gave them both hula hoops so she can hoop her dog through it. And I gave the other girl hula hoops, so both of them was doing hula hoops. One was doing it on her arm because she had stomach problems, but she was feeling much better. And the other girl, she could actually hula hoop. And the guy that she was with, me and him could be friends because he's quite a goddamn bowler. And he picked up the 710 and he showed me how. I told him how I never hit that shot before. I never got that shot before. And the only way that, and he told me he had picked it up. And I goddamn told him, I said, the only way I've never picked it up is to hit that thing, bab it, wrap it, and slam it across the house. And he said, that's how I fucking did it. And I thought that was really good. And to the break dancer that said he'd be watching my YouTube video, hey, you're doing an excellent job breakdancing on the top of that truck. The girl did great filming, and shit happens, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, but you know, it could have been worse. But I'm glad that you got up, and I was glad to meet you. And hey, it was nice to have a Corona with you too, by the way. And you ever see me out and about, you just stop by and have a good time with me. And let's see. I'm just going to go and probably drink my coffee this morning. I'm going to get my gold mining stuff. I could go to Camas Days and cough some. Woohoo! And I thought about that. I just don't know what the day will bring. You just never know what the day will bring with me. I haven't even shaved. I probably should shave. And I've got my white clothes and stuff on. And let me see. I've got my swimming trunks on. I go down there and swim with this. You want a pineapple? I'll give you a goddamn pineapple. You know, you want some flavor? Hey, and I'll tell you what. The guy says, what's this about? This cuts all angles. I'll tell you what. I could talk to anybody with this. It don't matter what flavor you are. I get to talk to all the good people. I get to talk to all the bad people. I get to talk to everybody. And you know why? Like Johnny Cash. Because you're mine, I walk the line. You know, my dad was singing Johnny Cash music too. And another thing, I was listening to Prince this morning. Purple rain, purple rain. Now, I'm not much of a singer, and I'm going to need some help. The little music is a good backup to it, and you know, it's wonderful to be free. I'll tell you what, it's wonderful to be free. And Ernie Tobeck, you know, if you want to come down and do my gold show with me, it'll only take no more than 3 days, you know, and me and you working together, Ernie. We work goddamn tough, and we work good together. So, you know, I would say that we could get it done easily in a day. You know, I'm going to have to process it, and I do that on my own, and you know I'm going to be goddamn honest. And the guy that's my money man, that's right here waiting for me, and he's going to be my Vince McMahon, and I'm going to be his Hulk Hogan when it's over. When my new bowling alley runs through here, Mitch is going to be running the fucking goddamn... Oh, Mr. Goldfinger. Oh, I was talking to Mr. Goldfinger, and I said, Goldfinger. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. You know, and oh, stirring the pot. Hey, you know what? I don't know. This girl says she can't talk to me. Well, I've heard that before, and I ended up sleeping with the woman. Now, don't you start this you can't talk to me stuff. I know this she's playing hard to get thing, and she's wearing this Sharia thing, sight unseen. She don't know who she's dealing with. I've been sent by God. I'll bet you that me and her end up talking, and I better wear the white gown with gold on it. And I have it right over here with a nice coat on. And I don't know why I bought all this stuff before I came here. Ernie, was this meant to be? Ernie, remember I bought you the ladder? Ernie's ladder. Remember, Ernie, when I jumped up on top of the ladder and you came in there and I was wearing my championship belt? But it was the little red sucker one, the little cheap one. But I bought Ernie a ladder because Ernie's ladder is so rickety. They would send him out there to get on that ladder so he'd fall out there and get hurt for something bad to happen, is what I was feeling in my gut. So I bought Ernie a brand new ladder. And when I left there under the circumstances that I was forced to live under, I would never have taken that ladder back from Ernie. Now, and I got on my hands and knees and ripped out all of the weeds, the shit in the yard on my hands and knees, and I made a point about, I'll rip the weeds out of my side of the yard, but you should worry about the weeds in your side of the yard. And by the way, I did touch Ernie's AR-15. Would you like to hold it? No, I just like to touch it. It's so powerful. You know, I did that, Ernie. Remember? I'm a real funny fucking guy. I'm your friend. That's so fucking funny. And I told you, I said, I'm going to stick my finger in your AR 15. And I think I did. And I love you. Keep your AR 15s. And by the way, there's a woman down here. She has an AR 15. She was out there dancing next to my motorhome one night, singing out here with her boyfriend and stuff. And you know, I got talking. We started singing a little bit over her phone. She got music on her phone. I've never seen that shit before. I've been out of circulation for so long. I'm like, oh wow, that's what this is, and that's what that is now. Wow, we don't have a dollar store. We have a $3 store or a $2 store, but it's not really a dollar store. So I thought that it should be a $2 store all along, and that way we would have hedged off inflation in the future. But no, we didn't do it then, and that was a bad move, and we should have done it then, and you would have had hedged off now. So that's another route for another time, and back to Ernie. Isn't this fun now, Ernie? And for everyone out there, my name's John Wright. My dad was the Zodiac Killer. And what would you like me to say? Here's a picture of my dad as D.B. Cooper, and here's a picture of me. Look, it's just true. It's just outright true. My dad was D.B. Cooper. My dad was the Zodiac. All the cops down here in this area know it. Oh, and by the way, I talked to Taylor Swift's cousin that lives in Hawaii, and I'll tell you, last year on August the 8th and stuff, there was fires and stuff that was going on in Hawaii, and that was the same time when I was warning them about the bowling alley and stuff going on up here, and that's when I was involved in this year, and Taylor Swift's cousin, what me and her was communicating online on Chatterbait, and I was having communications with a third party, and I was cutting them information, and they thanked me for the information right there. And right there, her name's Kaylee Sparks, and she's on YouTube, and she sings, and she looks a lot like Taylor Swift, but she's we're friends, such as we chat back, and she performs, and I go in there and I have a lot of fun with everyone. And like Madeline Jackson, all through last year, prior to all this, the Hezbollah thing and everything, me doing my first show, Madeline Jackson, me was tight. She was getting over 21,000 viewers a night for a long time. And I mean, there's people coming in and says, why is your room like this? And they knew it was because of me. Now that I don't do with her, she gets maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people. She's got a lot better, and she's humbler and everything. I mean, I know I had an effect on her, and I know what she's done. And if you want to look up her performance and the people and stuff and what she was doing last year, you just go and look up Madeline Jackson at Chatterbait, and it'll show you the dates and stuff, and look at all the stuff going through there, and you'll see that she was having phenomenal time and stuff like that, and working really super hard. Compared to now, she's more relaxed and stuff, and she don't have as many people, and she don't have to put up with a lot of shit anymore. So anyway, now, what else was I going to say? Ernie, now I never did get the Marilyn back. Remember Marilyn, my girlfriend that was down here in Portland, Oregon? When you and Bonnie cut me off from communications, I lost Marilyn, and I'm not very fucking happy with that, Ernie. I'm just telling you that me and Marilyn was a really nice people together. But ultimately, Ernie, I'm going to get goddamn over it, and I got to get over everything. And by the way, there's a woman down here, she's got this veil and stuff, she's from the Middle East, and I know that God has used me, and I've talked to Ernie about this. You know, Ernie gave me this here staff, everyone, and I still got the staff today. It's kind of like Pharaoh that gave Moses the staff, and Ernie, now I'm holding the staff right over here saying, do you remember the staff, Ernie? I'm right here. And like I said, you guys never read the Bible, and I always said if you knew better, you'd do better. And like I said, you should watch the movies and stuff, the Ten Commandments and stuff, and see that point where Pharaoh gives the thing. And by the way, at the end of it, where the water comes crashing in, and Pharaoh and his wife sitting there, and Pharaoh's son is dead on the altar over there because he fucking didn't do what God said, and the iron rod got shoved up Pharaoh's ass. You know, God raised Pharaoh for that very day is the same thing he raised me for, Ernie, for the very day, and also you too. Because all along I was telling Ernie Toback to witness what I was doing, right down to lottery tickets and a match for $10,000 lottery win where I split it in half with Ernie. He had to go buy the 5 lottery tickets. We won. All of them was $20 winners, but except the $10,000 winner, which I got the little wins plus half of the thing after taxes, and Ernie, with his tax money, or with his money that he got from the lottery, he went and bought himself a green John Deere lawnmower, and every day that he starts it up and rides it, he probably thinks about how he got it free. And we did it together, Ernie, because you empowered me. I blame it on the coffee. I blame it on Ernie. I blame it on the girl that smiled at me this morning. I blame it on the person that creeped me out. When bad things happen, I like good things. I like good people. And you know what? If God has forced me, like Minerva, Ernie, you see, you just can't stop it. You just can't stop it. You can't cut me off where you don't know where it's coming from. You see, and I live by sayings, if you knew better, you do better. And one in the hand's worth 2 in the bush, because you know what you got here, and you never know what's in the bush because you may never find it, but it's up bushes and bushes and bushes. So anyway, must I go on and on and on? And I wish you a good day. It's a new day, and this morning I am going to make it over there and just sit on this end of the dock and see if she shows up. The woman that I talked to that ended up thinking about what she was saying, I know she walked away just enlightened, because I told this biblical, and I showed her my feet. I showed her my scars on my feet and here. And I said, do you know anything about the Bible? I said, do you know where the Lord got his cut? And I'll tell you, where you plant a seed, it'll grow. And there's so many things that I could tell each and every one of you. Hey, I love you. How's that? God loved me and he used me. He could use anyone of his desire. And you might be next. Hey, my name's John Wright and you're not. I'm sitting here having a good time. And if somebody keeps asking me, do I have an animal? Of course I have an animal. Well, I've got Norjack right here. And me and Norjack, we might just go down to the coffee shop, say hello to the girls, Me and my faithful dog. My dad gave me a dog, Candy. Quicker than liquor, faster than lightning. John, I want you to have my dog, Norjack, Candy. Norjack is the FBI case file. That's right, FBI case file. That George, my dad was kind of funny. He's a really, really funny guy. He was really, really nice. But I'll tell you what, I guess he would kill you if he had to. And he was the Zodiac killer. And I'm the son that never knew. And I wish you a good day. And A, B, C, D. Okay, DB, you only have AC left. Hey, I'm the equation between Donald Trump and that. He's the Antichrist, and I am a person that was sent here to meet the woman wearing the black gown right down here. And I'm not interested in women. I would love to have a relationship with all of these women that are beautiful. I love every one of you. You may have to be my maidens of honor. I may have to marry someone that I've been elected to be with and put together with her by God Almighty's strength and power. And I don't know what else to say other than the truth is the truth, and may the truth set us all free. You know, we're all people. I want us all to get along. I love you guys. And God loves you too. And God worked through me. And if it was you, would you go away to appease everyone else, or would you just lie to everyone else and say it never happened and just, I'll put up with what you're saying because you outnumber me? I can't goddamn do it. I just can't do it. The truth is worth too much to me personally. And you deserve better. And that's the truth. And my name's John T. Wright, and I'm right here every day.